Hey gang, it's been a minute since I've done one of these short videos, but I was waiting for my kid to get out of an activity and thought I'd go ahead and talk about what I find to be the most interesting naval battle in the Pacific of World War II. That's the Battle of the Coral Sea. For a lot of people, I know they like Midway. It was a much bigger battle. It was a massive success for the Americans, utter defeat for the Japanese. But I feel like I get more interesting stories out of Coral Sea, and here's why. Because you have two equally balanced forces for the most part. Their composition's a little bit different, but by and large, you have two equally weighted fleets going at it in the first carrier duel. This is before Midway. It's the first real, carrier action since, well, for in ever, obviously, but it's the first time the Navy is really fighting the carrier aviation group since they were defending Pearl Harbor. So the idea going into Coral Sea was that the Japanese were a vastly superior force. They were better at fighting. They had better aircraft. They had the advantage in everything. So on paper, when the two sides met, it should have 100% gone to the Japanese. There should be no way that this is even close, especially if you're looking at how outclassed the Wildcat was being reported to be vis-a-vis the Zero. So if they had a decent combat air patrol, they'd be able to intercept all of our incoming attacking aircraft, and there wouldn't be much that our Wildcats could do about it. But that's not what happens. Instead, you basically end up with a tactical draw. So we trade carrier for carrier, and I know there was a little baby carrier in there too, but I try not to give that too much credit because of just the size of the Japanese carriers versus the larger American carriers. So I figured the two carriers that they lost, that's kind of equal to the one that we lost. And it was a strategic victory for the Americans, obviously, because we turned back the invasion force that was heading down to, oh goodness, was it Papua New Guinea or was it Moresby? I can't remember now. Anyway, so I find that fascinating. It kind of tells you a couple of things. One, battles aren't won on paper, and two, maybe Americans' technology wasn't as inferior as they kind of built it up to be. Except for the Devastator, that was a piece of shit, and the torpedoes, they didn't actually work. Anyhow, I hope you guys get a kick out of this, and I'll talk to you later.